Now I'm going to start working on the backrest of the back seat, and hopefully it turns out as nice as the front seat, the lower part of the back seat. I mean, the seats in the house sitting in the living room, the lower part. And yeah, all those wrinkles completely came out just in being upholstered for a few hours. So it must just been wrinkled from being, jammed up in this box. I think this is the cover I'm gonna, let's see, I think this is the cover I'm gonna be installing next. Yeah, this is it. So there we go. And I got the stuff out here. I'm gonna start cutting this, and then I gotta cut the foam and the padding, I gotta cut this stuff and this is the padding I'm going to use. And so I'll get to it. It's hopefully, like I say, hopefully it comes out as good. This is the wire laced burlap for the backrest of the seat, and you can see it's kind of three pieces. So they're 1, 2, 3, and you can see where it's actually held together with little, looks like aluminum ribbons wrapped around. I'm just going to make one piece, and I'm going to fold it over. You can see where this kind of was folded over the frame there and there. This is the side that was against the springs. You can see the imprints, and that's why I'm going to put it back on. And I cut this. It is the same size if you fold this out and hold it over. I did that on both sides so that it's the same length and will fold over. And I'm going to tie this onto that frame like the original back was, because that was this one was tied also. And if you see how it has this, it's called piping, I guess, but see how it has, it's like a papery, twisted paper is the only way I can describe it. And see how I can untwist it a bit. And it was like they had just a ribbon of that they tied this to the seat frame with. Anyway, I'm going to kind of fold it over and trim it out just like I did the lower part of the seat. I got the burlap all on there and tied the original burlap with the wires in between. It's kind of sandwiched in there just like I did on the other side. And now I'm getting ready to cut the foam out. I just laid it on here. I'm just going to trace it out with a Sharpie and then cut it out, and hopefully we can get that stuffed in around there so the cover will go on. I got to cut the batting stuff too, but we're moving along. So I finished up putting the backrest of the back seat together, and I didn't video it because it was just turning into a nightmare. And like the back seat, I knocked the camera on a tripod, just doesn't work when you're working around this area. But anyway, I did get the seat cover on. This 2-inch seat foam, there was no way the seat was going together with that. No way. It just wasn't happening. I tied this thing and with strings to collapse the seat springs, and I mean, I did everything I could to get that cover on. Spent probably close to 3 hours horsing with it, and finally just gave up and went with the thinner stuff, and it actually came out really, really nice. So what I'm going to do, I haven't put the speaker grill or any of the stainless trim, that stuff on yet, which I will do, but first I want to install the seat in the car, and I'm going to install both the back and the bottom. I'm not going to put the side panels in, so I'm going to have to be careful there's nothing sharp. The seat hooks down on these, and then I'll have to get the carpet out, and then down here it bolts, the backrest bolts to this, and then the front seat clips. There's some bars under the front seat that kind of clip in underneath this, and that's all that holds the seat in. It's pretty simple, but I'm going to install it and sit in it and see how I like it. And if it's all good, it's staying as is. If I don't like the way it feels, I'll take the cover back off and put a little thicker foam under there. But that 2 inches isn't going to go. I might fit 1.25 inches. I don't think 1.5 inches will fit. but it's got like equivalent to 1 inch, and I think that's it's basically the same as the bottom of the seats, and that's super comfortable. Oh, and by the way, all the wrinkles, every one of them came out of that bottom. You'll see it when I put it in the car. It's in the house sitting in the living room right now, and this actually looks better today than what it did last night when I was finished this pretty late last night. It was probably 8-9 o'clock, and just sitting here overnight it looks better. And I only keep the heat on 60 in here. Oh, and I had a hair dryer there, so I was even trying to heat it, even with that, trying to heat it and stretch it over, and yeah, it just wasn't happening. That batting, cotton batting, is equivalent to maybe the 1 inch. It wasn't really 2 inch, but anyway, it's all together and it looks nice. And I'll tell you what, it looks nice when I set the speaker grill in here. This is all hidden with the speaker grill, and that, this goes down in there, and I'm just setting it there. But yeah, it's got to be screwed in, and I'll do that after the fit, in the car, to make sure I like the way it fits, because then I gotta, this screws in to the frame, and I literally have to, it screws through here, so I have to put holes in the vinyl to screw it on. So I want to make sure it's all good, everything's right, before I put holes in the vinyl, so if I have to take the cover off again and put it back on with other foam, I don't have more holes in the back of the cover there. So I haven't even cleaned this, nothing. I just put the cover on, called it a night. So I'm gonna go get the I'm gonna put the top down to do this work, and then I'm gonna pull that carpet box out, and I'm gonna pull the carpet back because I might just leave the seat in the car for now. Just a good place to store it. So I'm gonna try and get the front seat out today and get the carpet out, and so you can see where the seat hangs over the carpet, so I can just pull the carpet back, put the seat in, and then when I pull the carpet up, I don't have to take the seat back out, and then I'll just cover the seat up with some sheets. This will make it easier to see to what I'm doing in here. Alright, let me get this box and stuff out here. There's the back seat installed, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. Those wrinkles, I don't remember which side they're on, but they totally came out. There's a couple here, but I think they'll come out as time goes on. We'll just horse with it, but I think once all this trim's on and the speakers in, things will be a little bit better. None of this you'll really see because that speaker grill it comes right to this edge of this piping, comes across and right up, so I think that'll be okay. I think it looks pretty darn good. This is from the passenger side. Yeah, that's gonna do. I'm gonna take it all back out and put the trim on it, and then I think I'm just going to leave the backrest sitting there, and the bottom I might put back in the house. We'll see. It looks good though. It all looks really good. Yeah, it's not the most comfortable seat to sit in the back here in the convertible, but there's no armrests or anything, but it is a little tight for somebody my size, but it's acceptable for as often as people are going to probably rarely have people in the back seat as long as I own it. And most of it's actually quite comfortable. It's just a little small, that's all. A little area, seating area isn't as big as what I expected it to be. And the dashboard looks nice from the back seat. I haven't put that pod pad on permanently yet. I'll probably take it out when I do the seat so I don't bash it, but that looks really nice, the instrument panel. Sitting in it didn't ruin it. So yeah, there's still no wrinkles in the bottom of the seat. Like I say, I think the top will, it's taken a couple of days, but that has every wrinkle has come out of it. So I'm assuming that'll happen with the backrest too, but I think that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is next on the agenda is get this seat out, and then I'm going to start pulling the carpet up so I can paint the floor pan. And while that paint's drying, I'll probably work on the side panels next. That way, when I put the new steering column and new carpet in, I can put all this in and leave it in and have it out of my way while I work on the front seat. There we go. The back seat is totally installed. If you look at the front seat and then look at the back seat, look at the difference in the condition of the vinyl. Wow. Yeah, it's making a big improvement. I think even if I clean this up, it's not going to look as good as that. It just really, really looks super duper nice. I'm really super happy with it. So next, I got all the side panels sitting out on my table there. So I'm going to work on them so I can put them in. And like I say, I don't know if I repeat myself or not. Sorry if I am. Just get over it. I'm going to have to take this out again to put these side panels in, and I still have to run the wiring to the speaker. I just installed the seat to get it out of my way. I'm going to get the front seat out of the car today, and that gives me, with this seat here, it gives me somewhere to put this seat until I get to it. I'm going to pull the carpet out, and I think I have some, I don't know, I have some brush Rust-Oleum, and I'll clean the floor pan out and just brush paint it. It's under carpet. Nobody sees it, so who cares, right? Just as long as it's protected. But yeah, that came out looking super nice. There's a couple little wrinkles over there, but you can see the wrinkles came out. I think it was this side that was wrinkled, and they all came out just from being covered for a couple of days, because I think the problem is they're folded up in a box for for however long. So there's a few little wrinkles here. And I just think in time they'll come out. If they don't, I'll take a heat gun or something and we'll get them out. But yeah, it looks super, super happy with it. And with the top down, you get nice light. Now this isn't bolted on. That's just sitting there because I'll probably take that off when I go in and out with stuff, so I don't, I just don't want to take a chance on mushing that in or anything, but it may fasten it in the future. But look at the dashboard, how nice that looks. Yeah, it's going to look good. So I get the carpet in after the paint's dry, and then I can get these panels. And I got to run the wiring, if I haven't mentioned it, from the front. And it runs, I looked in the wiring manuals, and it runs the passenger side, so I'll run it with the convertible top wiring around for the rear speaker. And I ordered connectors so I can solder the wires directly on, and then I'll have a plug connector identical to what the original one looked like, and then I'll run the wiring up to the front, put a plug connector on there for the radio. But look at that. Doesn't that look nice? We have no internet, so I don't know when this is going to come up. We've been out of internet for a while. Have Huawei, and Huawei is their service poor. The cable coming to the house has been chewed up by a squirrel for 3 years now, and I haven't been able to get them to replace it. Every time it rains or the weather's crummy, the internet slows down or stops because of it. And their customer service is zero. They may be inexpensive, and when it works good, but like I say, if you have WOW, don't expect any customer service. They don't offer it. You don't get any. But look at the difference. Yeah, that really shows the difference with it sitting like that, doesn't it? The fading, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, huge. Just looks really super nice. Got to get white walls yet. And we're starting to get weather to where it's going to be in the mid-50s today. So you know, I just get the interior done, then I'll tackle the tires. So I suspect I'll have the interior done by before the end of March. And then we'll get tires on it, and it'll be cruising weather. And I got to buff out some paint yet. I got to buff out the trunk lid, a couple, there's some orange peel. Right in this area right here I need to buff. And I'll just buff out the whole car. I'll only sand out what I need to. And I want to repaint the hood. I might do that before I do the wheels even. So that way it's, you know, I want to get the hood stripped and painted before bug season. And that's, you know, a couple months away, but it's not. A couple months can come quick, that's for sure. These buttons that need replacing, I got them, and they come with they're threaded little things with nuts, so it'll be easier to install by far. And I don't think they'll interfere with anything, you know, it just goes right here. If it does, we'll worry about that when the time comes. But I think it won't hurt anything. I think they'll be out of the way far enough to clear the convertible top mechanism. If they don't, well, like I say, I'll worry about it at the time, maybe fit them down a little bit or something so they don't stick out as much. But I think they'll be just Jim Dandy. I don't think I need to worry about them not working. That's what they are if you're interested. I got them from National. Here, I'll show you the magazine. That's where I ordered these from. Right here. So anyway, just in case if you're interested and want to get some. The front seat is out. You're looking at it just as I lifted it out. I've done nothing more than other carry it out. So I'm going to start working on getting the carpet out so I can clean up and paint underneath everything. I got to get the sill plates off so I can pull it. And then while the sill plates are off, I'll pull the wire channel lip up so I can run wiring before I put everything back in. That's in pretty good shape. Actually, it's nicer than what I thought. Most of that's still paint on there. That's just, there's some, lot of dirt, some adhesive, some minor surface rust, but most of it's like this red primer. And yeah, it's surprisingly good. This tar paper here was kind of peeled up and over. You can see it was not laid out properly there. I didn't find a build sheet, but we're going to take this out carefully because I'm probably going to reuse it. And there we go. No build sheet there. Alright, so there's no build sheet in the car. It might have been under the back seat. You know, the back seat's been removed before, but that's where it might have been. But look at how clean this floor pan is in this car. Yeah, that's unheard of in a convertible especially. All right, let me get this stuff out. I want to kind of try and save that. I'll probably put it back in and straighten it up. We'll see. Maybe put new in. See where the speedometer cable goes through that. Thought those had a rubber grommet. Probably have to put a rubber grommet on that. Yeah, it looks really good. I can put the steering column in now. Now that the carpet's out. And I don't know what the heck that is. It was under the mat. Probably something from when it was assembled. Alright, let me get the rest of the stuff out, give it a vacuuming out. And maybe I won't even bother painting that up there. I'll just paint these rear floor pans, the lower part. That's all. There's zero rust on that. That is like factory fresh still once I vacuum the dirt off. There we go after a quick vacuum. There were some fasteners stuck in some of the sealers. This was underneath the, down in here. So I think this was maybe a grandma-owned car. I think that confirms more. There's a panel missing there. There's a, you know, supposed to be a cap like that here, so I'll have to find something for that. There's, I don't know where, I think that plug was, I don't know if that's from one of the you know, this body mount here doesn't, I don't know, there isn't one on that side, but it seems like the right size plug for that hole, so may put it in there. But the seam sealer caulk is just peels up without any effort, so we'll get all that cleaned up. I'll go through here with a putty knife and scrape everything up, get everything cleaned up, and then I'll go around with some Rust-Oleum and a brush, and I think I'll paint these lower rear floor pans. The front, yeah, this, I mean, this is like brand new. I'll clean up there where the seam sealer is and maybe paint that, you know, I'll reseal all the seams. But this has never, I can see that's never had a plug screwed into there. You can see those holes. So that's been like that since day one. And there's one of those rubber plugs like this one, maybe that. Maybe that was an extra one for there, because that none of the other body mount holes have plugs in them. So anyway, we'll get it all figured out. There's another one of those like that one. I'll make one and put there. That's not a big deal to make one of those. And but I'm going to get in here now and start scraping it up and getting it ready to sand. And there is a spot weld right there that needs to be repaired. I'll repair that. That is the only issue I see, is that spot weld. And the seam sealer, which is needing to be redone around all the seams, which is to be inspected after 55 years. I mean, show me a, you know, this is unheard of. I'd to work on a car this age, for me to get this out of here and some of this to work on a car something this age that doesn't need, you know, a ton of floor pan work. I mean, most cars this age, the floor pans aren't even there anymore. So I am not complaining one iota. That's actually far better than what I had expected. I think I'm going to pull the bottom of the back seat out and take it back in the house. And I'm going to cover that backrest up really well and go to town here. This is the first project car that I've never had to do floor work on. Yeah, I went around and scraped all the loose seam sealer, and my God, you can see that's all brand new metal under there. I mean, there's some, this surface rust here is so light it's like staining almost. I can wipe that off with my finger down to the shiny metal. Yeah, look at that. That shiny metal where I scraped the loose paint and stuff off. And this is the worst. That's just I'm going to take some 80 grit and hand sand it everywhere it's surface rusted, and going to brush on some black Rust-Oleum and let that dry while I work on these side panels, and then I can get them in. The carpet, like I say, the carpet needs to go in. I've probably said this a dozen times, so don't complain that I repeat myself, but the carpet has to go in before those panels, because the carpet goes up under there and then the panel goes over it. And so I'm going to work on those panels while the paint dries. So this is my next step, is to get all this sanded, which I'll do tomorrow. I'm going to call it a day here shortly. And so tomorrow I'll sand everything out, go around with the seam sealer. I got to run to the paint store and buy some more seam sealer. I don't have enough to do all this. And then I'm going to paint everything with Rust-Oleum that needs to be painted. And then I'm going to, while the paint's drying, I'm going to work on these side panels. And then once the paint's dry, I can put the new carpet in and start on that seat. I'll show you the seat seeing it's out. And like I say, there was no build sheet in here. This is the carpet, old original. This is the rear floor carpet. And yeah, It needed replacing. And I'll show you this is where the wire channel, see, these are the wires for the convertible top motor. And I'll run the speaker, I'll take this plate out, run the speaker wires for that center speaker through that and up and out here and across and over to the radio, and get that done too before the carpet goes in. But yeah, there we go. Super solid. That's actually in better shape. I didn't expect it to be that solid. I expected surface rust worse. You know, I expected the whole floor pan to look like that, and that's really nothing. And I mean, up there, that's just like new. So yeah, and then like I say, and being a convertible, they're notorious to leak. This thing obviously was garaged its whole life, and most of it anyway. All right, so I'm going to wrap this video up. Hopefully I have internet to upload it, and so you guys can see it. But if you like the video, definitely hit the like button. And if you want to see this car finished up, hit that 348 engine icon and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching my videos.